Remember the COVID? It was all the rage. Oh, what was it, a fortnight back? I thought this was rather inspiring. Governor Ron DeSantis arriving at the University of South Florida.
You do not have to wear those masks. I mean, please take them off. Honestly, it's not doing anything, and we got to stop with this COVID theater. So if you want to wear it, fine, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's not wrong there. I was thinking the other day of Chab. Stéphane Charbonnier, the editor of Charlie Hebdo, slaughtered in a bloodbath by Islamic terrorists a couple of years ago. I had a very slight acquaintance with him. 2 years before his murder, he said, quote, "It may seem pompous, but I'd rather die standing than live on my knees." It wasn't in the least bit pompous, not from Chab. He lived and died it, and it's a stirring sentiment, but it's a little strange to see thousands of Ukrainians choose to die standing while being cheered on by citizens of countries who've been living on their knees for the past 2 years and apparently enjoying it. A Russian MP, Rifat Shaikutinov, said yesterday that, quote, "We did not prepare this operation spontaneously. It has been in preparation for a year, maybe more." So that would mean they started planning it almost immediately after the inauguration of the dead husk of a moth-eaten sock puppet currently in the Oval Office. Joe Biden is a literal dead man walking. Here he is purporting to walk.
President, you fear? You believe Putin would use a nuclear weapon?
Mr. President, are you worried about nuclear war?
Yes, Joe Biden walking, very focused on his walking. He can't answer a question about nuclear war because he's concentrating so hard on walking in his stylish black mask, outdoors, on a vast lawn with nobody in his path. Biden wears a mask outdoors just in case you thought the general decrepitude, the prompter squinting, the croaky mumbling, the inability to remember names, not just of foreign leaders, but of his own closest staff, in case you thought all that didn't quite communicate sufficiently American weakness and decline and decay, then the mask is the icing on a very stale cake. The West's enemies are various: Russia, China, millenarian mullahs, the great reset globalists of Davos under their leader Darth Schwab. Oh, can we have the picture of Darth, please? I love this picture of Darth Schwab. Oh, look at him there. Yeah, if you've read G.K. Chesterton's novel, The Man Who Was Thursday, you'll know that the men bent on world domination in that book hide in plain sight by having a big slap-up breakfast in Leicester Square every Sunday. That's the Klaus Schwab strategy. He dresses like a Dark Lord of the Sith, and he talks like Blofeld as he presides over the Spectre board meetings at his headquarters in his hollowed-out Alp. He boasts openly that he controls over half of the Canadian cabinet. Half of the Canadian cabinet he controls. Nobody in human history has ever before thought that worth boasting about. China and Russia, by contrast, are more conventional imperial powers. They've got kind of a good cop, bad cop routine going. China has taken over the world without firing a shot. Russia fires a lot of shots and is struggling to take over Ukraine. But if what that Russian MP said is true, it remains a deeply weird invasion. Where, for example, is the Russian Air Force or the Russian Navy? Yet Putin and Chairman Xi ultimately share the same goal as Klaus Schwab and the globalists: the destruction of the Western nation-state, which has been the basic organizing unit of the functioning world since the Peace of Westphalia 4 centuries back. Putin didn't invade Ukraine to injure Ukraine. He invaded Ukraine to injure America and the West. And we are injured. NATO isn't sending troops because NATO has no desire to stagger from one quagmire to the next a mere 6 months after Afghanistan. So as Putin and Chairman Xi surely foresaw, that leaves sanctions, which will hurt British and American and European citizens long before it ever impacts the Russian population. And it will damage the Western financial order and the dollar, leaving openings for alternative systems that entirely bypass America. And seriously increasing your heating bills too. The aim is to extinguish the Western nation state, which has taken a battering in these last 2 years, especially in Her Majesty's dominions, whether Scotland or Victoria, Canada or New Zealand, Wales or Western Australia, where entire populations are now so cognitively dissonant that the same people happy to be confined to their flats for the last 2 years are now cheering plucky Ukrainians taking a stand for liberty. Liberty. Liberty, isn't liberty a big super spreader event? Do you know your horsemen of the apocalypse? The first is the white horse, bringing pestilence from out of the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The second is the red horse of war, galloping into the Donbass. The third is the black horse, bringing famine. Do you know what they call Joe Biden? Bare shelves Biden. Can you guess why? Yes, there we go. The third horse of the supply chain apocalypse. And the fourth horse, of course, is death, which may be why Joe is being asked all those questions about impending nuclear war.